Trying to sell your old car? Instead, donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind. Pickup is free, and your donation is tax-deductible. Just call 1-800-943-1356. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats, whether they run or not. Donate your vehicle, and you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to over 50 locations. Call 1-800-943-1356. That's 1-800-943-1356.
Blog Talk Radio.
Feedback from
did our in-house band just explode?
Well, no, unfortunately we don't actually have an in-house band this week, which is one of many things we'll discuss. But
I thought that was our in-house band.
Well, that was our in-house live music, which is not technically in-house. It's pre-recorded, and we're thankful for it. And that's why we turn it off quickly so that we can continue to get away with playing parts of it. Hello, welcome to the Frank the Unicorn radio program. It's Sunday at 7 o'clock. And with you, as always, Frank the Unicorn and my lovely co-host, Mr. Beans.
I thank you for referring to me as lovely week in and week out.
Absolutely, of course. I have no other method to describe you. I would say the lovely...
There really is no other way.
The lovely Beans. That sounds good, doesn't it?
That sounds like a Peter Jackson movie that won't do very well.
No. Which so will never be made. But okay, so yeah, just real quick, we were supposed to have a band in live this week in the studio. Some things unfortunately didn't work out. And last phone booth, the vocalist was under the weather a little bit, so we're still excited to have them in, and they're definitely we're still gonna work it out with them to get them in here, and certainly want to be supportive of them. But we do have some other exciting developments in that wake, which is we were able to book another musical guest we're very excited about having tonight on the show, and that is Rhea. She was a Berkeley music student, and she had a chance to perform in front of Melissa Etheridge, and she blew her away and has kind of stormed on the scene. She's doing really well, and we're very, very excited to have her on. So we're going to have her on for our local music segment.
That is awesome.
That is great. We're also going to, we're going to continue to feature local music, and as part of that, we do have a surprise announcement. It's a huge announcement we're going to make on the show.
A surprise announcement?
It's a huge surprise announcement. I'm kind of looking at my producer to let her know that I'm talking about it and to see if she's giving me the go-ahead to actually discuss it, because I don't want to we can't release too much details. I'm getting the thumbs up. We don't want to release too many details because, we want to kind of hold some things back and tease us out a little bit. But we are going to be it's confirmed that we're going to be doing a live broadcast, and that's February 13th, and that's going to be at World of Beer in Coconut Creek, which is Sunday after the Super Bowl. It's the day before Valentine's Day, so there will be some Valentine's theme to it going on.
That is awesome.
It's going to be great. You're going to be able to come and get horny with us there, so we're very thankful to Lisa at World of Beer for allowing us to do that, and we're looking very much forward to doing the show there and working with them. Did you just
say come and get horny with us there?
That's exactly what we're going to do. You got to get horny with the unicorn. I mean, isn't that what it's all about?
If that's what it's all about, I think I might need to go do the hokey pokey and turn myself around.
Okay, all right. We're going to do, of course, our segment on what we're watching. We've got a good Beans list this week.
Indeed we do.
There's a specific theme to what we're watching. It's kind of gruesome, but it'll be fun.
There's going to be some Beans beatings this week.
That's right. It's the best fight scenes. Best fight scenes. We're going to count down.
So think about that now.
Yeah,
get to it now, deep in your tonsil, so that you can trump me within minutes of starting the list.
Yes, get to it now. We'll put that out on Twitter so that people know what we're doing on the Beans list. Of course, we're on Twitter at Frank the Unicorn, and you can always email us if you want to get old school with it, show@franktheunicorn.com. We're going to do...
If you want to get really old school, you should mail something to us.
You could, but we don't...
We need a P.O. box.
We do. We'll figure that out.
You can use the horn as like one of those mail spikes. One of those memo spikes?
As a memo spike?
I'm doing the memo spike motion as though anyone but you can see me.
Well, I appreciate your physical contribution.
That's what I'm here for.
I appreciate how committed you are to.
That's what I bring to the table.
To that. All right. We're going to do How Unicorn Are You? Of course, we have that.
Of course.
No Stripes Jackson, no Squanto this week.
Wow. Is it my birthday already?
Well, it is getting near the holidays, so I wanted to be generous.
That's awesome.
And we've got
Hanukkah to all.
We've got an expanded This Week in Bacon. We've got a few things there. We've got a Cosmo
Expanded
segment.
bacon sounds delicious.
Yes, we're going to talk about a lot of bacon-related items this week. And one of the things I want to do before we get into what you're watching, which is a segment that was actually a request segment that someone had asked us, the Deep in Your Tonsils and some of the other Twitter folks out there had started asking us, what are we doing for gifts this year?
That's a good question.
Are we giving, are we expected to give and receive bacon or unicorn related gifts? What types are we giving bad movies? What sorts of things might a unicorn find to be inappropriate?
I only give bad movies. I gave everyone I know a copy of Mamma Mia this year.
Wow.
That's not true. I like the people I know. I didn't do that.
You wouldn't do that to them? All right. I was getting nervous because you know who did not receive a copy of Mamma Mia from you this year? You. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm holding out for the special edition Blu-ray for you. Sing-along edition.
Okay. Well, that's what I need with the karaoke bit
That's
too.
right.
All right. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna do our top 10. We're totally ripping off Letterman now. We're not even attempting to not. Yeah. Just keep doing that. I've got the space in the tooth. It's fine.
We need a Paul Schaefer, quick.
We need a Paul Schaefer, and we need to apparently have sex with people who work on our show, which, unfortunately, that's just us.
I was hoping to do that anyway.
Yeah, that would get awkward.
We should maybe move the microphone out of the way.
That's what we should do for the live broadcast.
Yeah, there you go.
That would draw.
That's going to bring people to World of Beer.
That would get some attention. All the wrong kind, but that would get. Do you know what? If Steven Seagal Lawman would show up to arrest us, I would say we might consider it.
I need to find out if that show has been canceled, by the way. Does anyone know if that's coming back?
I have no idea.
If you know, let us know.
I mean, people are still committing crimes in Louisiana where Steven Seagal
Parish,
in Jefferson Parish, where Steven Seagal is located. So one would think the enforcement of law needs to continue to take place. If Seagal is available, why the heck not? Even Vern doesn't know yet if he's been renewed, and I figured if anyone would, it would be him, the guy who wrote the book. But no. All right. No idea. So here we go. These are 10 unicorn and bacon related gifts. These are some suggestions for holiday gifts. What is this? We're already getting people telling us good fights. Oh, okay. All right. So good. We'll save those. We'll be talking about that one because I've got a bone to pick with. All right. So at Bunky DC, don't worry. We're gonna get to that one. All right. So number 10. We'll be picking bones. Zombies versus unicorns. And where do I find that? We're gonna post this on the website. We'll post this entire list on the site. It's an epic literary battle which you can read all about on the site. And basically, it's a print by Josh Cochran, which depicts an epic battle between the two, and makes apparently very cool living room art. It's a zombie versus unicorn. I think I want one right now. I particularly don't like zombies. They're not quite as evil as centaurs. I don't have quite the rivalry, but they may not be as evil as centaurs, but. They make for a darn fine TV show. That's true, and centaurs aren't necessarily as evil to everyone else. It's just you and Walken. It's a cultural thing between me and the centaurs. Unicorns and centaurs, we just don't. It doesn't. You're like the Hatfield and McCoys of mythological creatures. That's correct. That's very excellent and appropriate. That comparison. There you go. All right, number 9. Stargazer designs on Zazzle. This is a bacon skateboard. It's a bacon skateboard. That is snazzy. That is very cool. Who wouldn't want a skateboard on bacon? A crispy, delicious half pipe. You know what? So when you fall and break your arm attempting a trick, and you're waiting for the ambulance, you can get the bacon sling. You can not only get the bacon sling and the bacon bandage, but you can also possibly eat the skateboard. I don't think that's advisable. Okay. I don't think you should eat your skateboard. All right, number 8. In fact, please don't eat your skateboard. Yes. Number 8, and this is a shameless plug for our show. You can show your love for our show with your very own Frank the Unicorn Radio Program T-shirt. That's at the Cafe Press store. Your very own Frank the Unicorn Radio Program T-shirt? Yes, that's right. I don't even have one of those. You don't? I don't either. I want one. So you can be the first on your block. You can be the first around to have one of those. Number 7 from Perpetual Kid. This is bacon soap. Now, is that bacon scented, or is it made from rendered bacon? I believe it's actually a bacon-scented soap that appears as if it is a giant hunk of tasty bacon. Yet, I don't know if I can advise people to purchase that. That could be dangerous. It could be very dangerous, especially if you
smell like bacon. There's dogs in the neighborhood. Somebody's probably gonna die.
If you have a roommate who consumes large quantities of alcohol and does confuse things while doing so, not a good idea because he may eat the bacon soap.
Indeed.
Okay. So only if you live alone. Okay. Number 6.
Even if you live alone, no bacon soap.
Animal outfitter.
If you're writing down this list, cross that out. You don't need bacon soap.
You need bacon. I disagree. You need bacon soap. Number 6, I'm overriding you. Animal outfitter. I'm a unicorn trapped in a human body T-shirt.
Really,
I'm a unicorn trapped. Here's the thing. That's true. No one else is a unicorn. I'm the only one. So if you wanted to express your desire to be a unicorn, you could do that. As long as you understand that by having the desire to be a unicorn, you're simply wishing to be a genetically altered human. You don't actually want to be a horse or whatever with a horn, right? Or Triceratops.
Moving on.
Okay, all right. Number 6 for the ladies, unicorn dress from Devani, New York City. Okay.
A unicorn dress.
The unicorn dress. It's an awesome sort of unicorn dress.
Does it have like a horn-shaped strap or something? What makes it a unicorn? Is it made from real unicorn?
It's not made from unicorn.
Is it like the vegetarian burger I had the other day, made from real vegetarians?
No.
It's a shame. That thing was delicious.
I'm actually just looking. There's quite a bit of I'm a unicorn trapped in a human body stuff.
Yeah, there sure
on
is.
that link. Okay, so the stocking stuffer. Think geek for both the unicorn chaser drink and canned unicorn meat. And then
we talked about the canned unicorn meat. Last time the vivisected stuffed unicorn.
Yes, that's correct. And you throw in a jar of Baconaise.
Of course.
And
what is the unicorn chaser drink?
The unicorn chaser drink is available at thinkgeek.com. And that is a you're calling me out on that. I've got to get to the link now and find it. Look at what you're doing to me.
Though I kind of want that T-shirt that's on their front page right there. The Star Trek red shirt that says expendable. That's kind of awesome.
Yes, it is. The unicorn chaser is actually an April Fool's gag. It's supposed to be a beverage made from unicorns. However, no, it's not actually real. It's a
It's a can of toxic goo.
So our producer has led us to fall for yet another. We're going to talk about this a little bit because Think Geek does this thing with the April Fool's jokes. We've gone for one of them. That's going to be part of our This Week in Bacon that we're going to talk about. But now we've fallen for another. In this very bit, we are so susceptible. I'm hanging my
because we want to believe.
We do want to believe. I'm hanging my unicorn head in shame. Okay. Of course, if you didn't ask about it, no one would know. But that's all right. Okay.
I'm glad I did that.
Well, you reveal the truth. You are.
That's right.
You're more of an investigative journalist.
I'm like the Edward R. Murrow of unicorns and bacon.
That's true. Bacon freak. Number 3, bacon freak. The ultimate bacon gift basket.
On many levels.
Bacon freak bundle. Bacon is meat candy T-shirt, bumper sticker, bacon seasoning, bacon wallet.
Bacon is meat candy.
Yes, gummy bacon, bacon Band-Aids, bacon air freshener, and bacon toothpicks. That's $59.95. That's baconfreak.com.
Man, that's a lot of bacon.
That is a ton of bacon. That is a plethora of bacon. That is enough. That is so much bacon. That's all the bacon you need to buy.
I kind of just want to get the bacon bumper sticker and put it on my rabbi's car when he's not looking.
Nice.
Is that wrong?
No. But you know what?
Feels wrong.
If you were to do that, he may seek vengeance upon you using number 2, the Archie Mcphee Avenging Unicorn playset.
Avenging Unicorn.
Yep, it's a little unicorn that impales people with its horn.
Of course it does.
And you have multiple horns on which to impale people, so that's fun. And of course, the number 1 gift is we featured in a segment of This Week in Bacon.
It's
and
the
that
talking bacon doll.
It is. It's my first bacon, the talking bacon doll, who says, I'm bacon. He is amazing. We love him. It's a hint to Mrs. Unicorn about that. So, Mrs. The Unicorn, sorry. So we'll see how that develops.
Lady
All right.
corn.
So we're actually doing pretty good on time here. The next thing we're going to get into, let's talk some film.
Oh,
let's discuss what we've been watching.
Film might be pushing it for the movies we've been watching. Let's talk some movies.
Movies, yes.
Film sounds like they're important.
That's true.
Maybe not.
347-326-9700 if you want to call in. We're on Twitter as well, at Frank the Unicorn. So just give us a shout, let us know, and you can get in on the discussion because we have, again, it's a bit of a theme that goes along with the films I'm bringing in here. But I was shocked to find out that
shocked, I tell you.
Very shocked to find. Now there are some things when you're. I was shocked to find out quite a few things in regards to Mrs. the Unicorn's movie experiences prior to our relationship.
Okay.
For example,
I want you to remember before you even start this that Mrs. Corn has no Y chromosome.
Okay, I understand that, but
so there are certain movies it's okay for her to have missed.
But it's still surprising because you would think somewhere along the way on TBS you may have caught one of these films. But
women flipping by these movies will tend to flip right by them.
Okay, that's true. That's true. However,
they will hear a bone crunch
except for one of these, which is very surprising. Now, some of these I'll mention were not. She had never seen the original Star Wars. That was shocking to me.
That's actually genuinely surprising. I'll give you
that. Was none of them.
She
had not seen any of the original Star Wars movies. That was.
I've seen them all now.
Yeah.
All six.
Hadn't seen Big Lebowski.
Well, I'm sorry for 3 of those. But
yeah.
See, Big Lebowski, I can understand that because that's not for everybody.
Okay, but and of course we documented the whole experience with Phantasm.
Big Lebowski?
Yeah.
I've seen that before.
Oh, you're going to Okay, all right, that's okay. Oh. There was a Coen Brothers movie that you hadn't seen. What was it? Fargo.
Fargo.
Okay. Well, no one's seen Fargo yet. Okay. So one of this one was surprising me. Roadhouse. Had not seen Roadhouse.
That doesn't surprise me at all because again, no Y chromosome.
It surprises me for the simple fact that the movie stars Patrick Swayze. Women love Patrick Swayze, especially.
Yeah, but they haven't seen Steel Dawn either.
Well, that's true. But considering that Roadhouse came out shortly after, I believe 2 years after Dirty Dancing, when Swayze was at his sexy peak, and of course right before Ghost and with the advent of VCRs and again TBS and cable, you would think somewhere along the way, Mrs. the Unicorn, who was such a fan of the Patrick Swayze, would have wanted to see this film.
But I could very easily see her, flipping the channels, seeing the mullet, hearing a little of the Jeff Healey and saying, you know what, this is not a movie for me.
Although I think...
there are bones breaking, there are throats being ripped. This is not a movie for everybody.
This is a movie for everybody.
Well,
I have to say...
I adore Roadhouse, don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah. I think Roadhouse may be...
I was raised at the Double Deuce.
Roadhouse may be the Citizen Kane of cheeseball cinema, right?
I think it may be.
It really may be the best bad, cheesy movie ever made. And you get the feeling when you watch Roadhouse, this is the thing that really gets me, is that when I watch Roadhouse, I get the idea, I get the feeling that these guys really thought they were making a serious movie.
It's directed by a guy whose name is Rowdy.
Rowdy Harrington.
I mean, come on.
I believe, didn't he also do the Cutthroat Island for Rowdy Harrington?
No, Rennie Harlan.
Rennie Harlan, okay. Rennie Harlan, Rowdy Harrington, sort of the 80s, 90s version of Michael Bay. They were sort of like the twin. I think, you know what, in fact, I think they combined the two of them and they made Michael Bay out of the two of those guys.
I don't think that could be because Rennie Harlan and Rowdy Harrington made watchable movies.
Oh, well, that's true.
Although Michael Bay, it's been a while.
They did, although they've been bad, but they did make some bad, but they did make bad watchable movies.
Even if they're bad, you can still enjoy them. I mean, Rennie Harlan made plenty you can enjoy. He did Die Hard 2, he did Nightmare 4, he did...
Cliffhanger? Did he do Cliffhanger?
He did Cliffhanger, he did Long Kiss Goodnight, he did some fun movies. Rowdy Harrington, of course, gave us the Immortal Roadhouse.
Which is all he ever had to do.
Michael Bay gave us a couple of watchable movies, but then went on to that Transformers thing, and the less said about that, the better.
Well, the less said about Michael Bay at all, the better.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I kind of like Bad Boys, too. If only because it, in its own little way, gave us Hot Fuzz.
True. I almost made just one of the worst. Okay. All right. Anyway, so Roadhouse. Swayze at his best. I think Roadhouse is absolutely the best bad movie ever.
Yeah, I mean,
you've got such a lame villain who has no purpose. Ben Gazzara has no motivation to be such a jerk.
He's Ben Gazzara. What else is he going to do? What's he going to give out hugs?
But you know what I'm saying. He's got no reason for him to, he owns the town.
But he's Ben Gazzara. He's grizzled. Even his name sounds grizzled. You can't say Gazzara and expect, like, a spring chicken. You're getting Ben Gazzara.
That's right. What the hell did Ben Gazzara look like at 5? I think at 5 years old
he looked like Ben Gazzara.
He had a bald spot, a tweed jacket, and a cigar, right?
That's right.
Okay, at 5 years old, going to kindergarten.
Going to kindergarten.
But I mean, okay. Now, aside from Ben Gazzara as the bad guy, and again, unmotivated because he already owns the whole town. Who cares about the stupid bar? Leave it alone. You've got no The thing is, Patrick Swayze isn't looking for trouble with anyone. He's not actively seeking trouble with anyone. He's not there to clean up the town. He doesn't care what Ben Gazzara is doing.
He's just there to be nice.
He's just there to be a bouncer in a bar.
To be nice.
And to do some Tai Chi out on the lawn.
For 90 minutes.
For like 90 minutes, okay, with his giant mullet. Interestingly enough, the book...
Well, his mullet helped him keep balance.
Well, that's true. It was all about the mullet. I think he actually hit a few guys with a mullet.
He might have.
That's where he found the power to rip out fruit.
That guy that he killed with the polar bear, for sure.
Yes. Okay, so... okay, and here's the thing. You know, the book he's reading, he's actually reading...
was he reading The Art of War?
No, he was reading...
I don't remember.
No. Legends of the Fall.
Was he really?
Yeah. I swear.
Didn't Brad Pitt have a power mullet in that movie?
He just had a power do in that movie. He had the Fabio hair going in that movie.
I guess so.
All right, so we're talking about Roadhouse, 347-326-9700, and the appeal of the Swayze. Now, interestingly enough, I watched Roadhouse, okay? Of course, you got to love the Roadhouse. It's fantastic. There's a lot of interesting side bits in there. The car that he buys a car when Dalton... One of the great character names of all time, by the way.
I love that he just has the one name.
Right.
Although, I think it's like Jack Dalton or something.
James Dalton.
James Dalton, of course.
But
it's just Dalton.
Okay, the cooler. So, you know what would have made Roadhouse better? Steve Buscemi.
I suppose that's
just a cameo of Steve Buscemi in the bar would have been great. Just sitting there drinking a beer, like a Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Have you seen the god-awful Roadhouse 2? Last call.
We've discussed it with Jonathan Scheck.
Yeah.
And we find out Dalton just died in between the two.
I hate that.
I hate that
too.
That
bugs me so much.
Okay, so he buys a car. He buys this crappy car. The idea being that, you know, these guys are going to vandalize his ride because he's such a hard ass, right? And he buys this crappy car, and it's a 65 Buick Riviera. Turns out the most collectible Buick Riviera, the 1965, because those clamshell headlights, only year they made that for the car.
Well, okay.
So he
Good
bought...
thing Swayze didn't kick him in.
Right. So Swayze or Spin kicked him in. That was the other trademark of Dalton. He had the two trademarks.
Spin kick, yeah.
He had several trademarks: the Tai Chi, the mullet, the spin kicking, and the throat ripping. And
one of the greatest lines in action movie history: "Pain don't hurt."
There you go. All right. Which brings us to another film, which is in its own way sort of an odd tribute to Roadhouse with its hero's ability. Which is MacGruber. I finally got a chance to watch MacGruber.
MacGruber.
I had no intention of liking the movie MacGruber. I had no intention of thinking the movie was going to even be decent or last for 2 hours, that they were or that they would be able to carry this joke for an hour and a half. It's great 30 seconds.
Up on you.
It's great 30 seconds at a time. It absolutely sneaks up on you. It's freaking hilarious.
Will Forte's a little bit of a genius, I think.
I think you're right. I think you're right. I think you're right. He just, you know, I think the thing that really makes this movie work is that it's a spoof of these action movies, and where it draws the line and gets it right, because it works on its own as an action film. Mm-hmm. Just as a cheesy action film, it works on its own. The humor adds to that, but what really defines it is how graphic the movie is.
I actually saw it in a theater.
Okay.
I'm ashamed to admit. But I love Will Forte, and I wanted to give him a chance. But it's 1,000 times more filthy than you think it's going to be.
Yes.
Like,
yes,
I knew it was R-rated, but I had no idea how filthy it was going to be. And I saw it in the theater. There were, count them, 6 other people in the theater, aside from myself and my date.
3 of whom worked on the film.
Yes. And the 6 other people in the theater, there's one scene in particular where they're doing nothing but talking. MacGruber is talking to, I believe, Powers Booth. And some of the things he says caused all 6 of them, not people who were together, by the way, just 6 people scattered around the theater, all 6 at once got up and walked out and never came back.
Really?
Really. Was
that at the beginning when he was...
It was towards the beginning.
When he was offering to fillet everyone?
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. As soon as that happened, one of them had a small child with them, which I thought was really funny.
That is funny. Although you shouldn't be taking a small child to an R-rated movie.
No, you should not.
Let's be real here. Especially an R-rated comedy that you know going in is going to kind of have a stupid plot and be a little spoofy, right?
Right.
And, you know, Will is kind of known for that. He's known for taking risks in areas where most comedic actors will not go. Like when he was on 30 Rock and he was a Jenna Maroney, you know, he was Jenna's boyfriend, but he's playing Jenna's boyfriend, but he's actually a Jenna Maroney female impersonator. And that's why she loves him so much, because she's effectively dating herself.
And I saw that. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, and then it turns out he also impersonates Cher, and he's cheating on her by impersonating Cher, and he decides to split the difference and be half Cher and half Jenna Maroney, and you know, but he's not afraid to go there, and that's one of the things that really makes MacGruber work. But again, it's really highlighted by the fact that it's so graphic. You don't expect, you know, in addition to all the sex and the cursing and a lot of the sex jokes, you don't expect a lot of the gore and the blood, particularly the scene where she's digging a bullet out of his thigh, you know, which is a hilarious scene between he and Kristen Wiig. But then at the same time, it's intercut with this extremely graphic and uncomfortable description where you're wincing because she's wrenching this thing around inside of him, these pliers, to pull his bullet out, and it's seemingly not affecting him. And I mean, just so many other little bits and things that they throw in, like the.
And before we even bring up the sex scene, at Bunky DC wrote in to say, Patrick is hot in Roadhouse, which of course he was, and that's a reason for women to watch. And also loved MacGruber.
See,
so it's good to know that MacGruber's got fans out there.
MacGruber is going to become a cult hit, I think.
I think it's going to be one of those movies that years down the line, it's just going to be, you know, a few people are going to be really, really into it.
Yeah.
Some of them scarily so. But it's one of those things where you're going to find people at, like, conventions dressed as MacGruber.
Driving around in a Mazda, you know, MX-5 with
pulling out their radio?
Yeah, with a pull-out radio.
I love that.
That was so hilarious because, well, I mean, I don't know, was that even popular even 10 years ago? That was like 20 years ago.
So I had one 10 years ago.
I had one though not 10 years ago. some more years ago, longer than that. It's been some time since I've had the pull-out stereo.
But I guess part of why you went to that from Roadhouse is because MacGruber has a certain talent for the ripping of throats.
Which again is just adds to the shock value of what is going on and what he's doing. Because, you know, he's this goofy guy and, you know, he's got this rep of being incredible and amazing. Of course, you know, obviously he's much like many other heroes who are bumbling in the same fashion. It's really because the people around him, you know, force success upon him.
He stumbles into greatness.
Yeah, a la Inspector Gadget, Clouseau, you know, et cetera, you know, Agent Smart. He's right along in that mold, so it's a familiar genre for that character. That character is a familiar character, just presented in a new way. Which, look, if you can make fun of MacGyver, that's great. If you can bring up Richard Dean Anderson and the fact that he had the most amazing mullet since Roadhouse, that's another thing that they share is the mullet. Hey, all the better.
Normally I find Ryan Phillippe to be kind of off-putting, but I thought he was even pretty funny in the movie.
I thought Ryan Phillippe was extremely funny in the movie. I thought, having seen that, I think I was
impressed with him.
He would be good in some action buddy comedies, I think.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good way for him to go.
And Powers Booth makes everything better.
Powers Booth is incredible.
One of the greatest
Powers
voices
Booth.
in Hollywood.
Yes.
You can listen to him talk all day.
Yes. and you know, he's so great as the authoritative figure.
Yep.
Whether it be the older, more, you know, wiser cop that knows what's going on and is giving the rookie the rundown.
Who dies 3 reels in.
Right. Or the general who inexplicably doesn't, you know, there's that scene in MacGruber where you think, you know.
Yep.
And no, he just randomly shows up again like everything's fine. Which, you know, again, is another little subtle.
But just so, like, I'm flashing back to the movie now, and so many great things, like his first team.
Right.
I mean, it's just it's funny stuff.
He's just completely disconnected with what he's doing in every respect, and even in relating his own experiences or being made fun of when Val Kilmer, who we should also discuss having been in this film, you know, is poking fun at him for what happens to him with his first team.
Yeah.
You know, which is just hilarious. But you know, you can see it coming a mile away. You know it's going to happen.
But you're still kind of surprised when they actually go there.
Yes. Well, that's the thing with this film. They go there every single time.
Yep.
So by the end of it, which, you know, the end is somewhat surprising, not really, but, you know, it's appropriate for a cheesy action spoof. You're not surprised that they went there. They kind of had to because they've been doing it all film. They can't back off from that now. You know, they've got to continue with that.
Yep.
Robert Hayes, then.
Yes, Robert Hayes.
Okay, go for it.
You know what I feel like? I feel like a screening of MacGruber. It's everyone's walking out. It's going.
It's going all downhill.
Yes.
It's a little bit possible. How does Robert Hayes connect to a screening of MacGruber?
Not at all. I was just trying to change the subject so that we didn't jinx ourselves by talking about whether or not we would stay on the air.
And our connectivity issues. Okay, well, that was smart. So it seems to be working. Let's continue. Let's use Robert Hayes as our...
And Robert Hayes, if you're listening, please call in.
And yes,
our good luck charm.
347-326-9700. And thank you, Robert Hayes.
We love you, Robert Hayes.
Let's keep talking.
I was a big fan of the Starman TV show, so I had to bring in Robert Hayes.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, we've got more... Diggable Me at Diggable Me has got some fights for us.
Yeah, we'll talk about fights. We'll get there.
We're going to get there in about 3 minutes, actually.
There you go.
So you can keep sending those tweets in to us on that at Frank the Unicorn. And all right, so keep talking about Robert Hayes here. You're teasing me a little bit with Robert Hayes.
I really had nothing about Robert Hayes. He was just the first person that popped in my head.
Total change, just a change of pace then.
That's right. I don't know why Robert Hayes was the first person that popped in my head. Maybe it was all the talk about Leslie Nielsen last week.
It's entirely... I guess that could be...
I hope we're not killing Robert Hayes right now. If I read tomorrow that Robert Hayes died in a tragic blimp accident...
It's your fault, not mine. Then you, sir,
It'll be me.
Will have ended the life and times of one Robert Hayes.
I was about to say in career,
myself.
but I think that already happened.
Yeah, Bob. Yeah, unfortunately, Robert Hayes.
Which is a shame because I really, really like Robert Hayes.
I also enjoy the Robert Hayes.
Anymore.
And
I think the last time I saw it was on the Larry Sanders Show. That was a while ago.
You know what I feel like? I almost feel like Robert Hayes has become this week's Sharktopus.
Oh, don't do that to Robert Hayes. He seems too nice to get jammed into the Sharktopus category. I love Sharktopus, but clearly our listeners don't.
They do not.
So
I wonder if they love
should
Robert
love
Hayes.
Robert
Do they
Hayes.
love Robert Hayes?
They best love Robert Hayes.
Should we hashtag love Robert Hayes?
He's on Twitter. So
He's
I'm
on Twitter?
Hi.
Yeah, let's
Please
send Robert Hayes a message. Now it is time. Now, sir,
talk about fight scenes?
We can talk fight scenes, and we can bring in some of these tweets.
And let's bring in Robert Hayes, because we can talk about the great fight scene in Airplane. The staying alive, Girl Scout beaten fight scene. Do you not enjoy that scene?
I do. I just feel like there are so many absolutely legendary.
There are, but I was just trying to keep the Robert Hayes train rolling along.
I guess it's probably the highlight of Robert Hayes' career as far as fight scenes.
And it is one of the funnier fight scenes you'll see.
Funny, yes. I was thinking in a little bit of a different direction as far as the...
I know, but I was just trying to keep the Robert Hayes train a-rolling.
Okay, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read some of these tweets because...
Before you do that,
okay.
The whole reason I wanted to put together this list was because you were talking about Roadhouse, which had some all-around great fights.
And throat rips.
But I wanted to throw in my all-time favorite fight scene before someone else trumped me.
Okay, go for it.
Which is from the movie They Live with Rowdy Roddy Piper. We're just all about people named Rowdy tonight as well.
I guess so.
Rowdy Roddy Piper and Keith David.
The kilt-wearing wrestler.
They have a knockdown, drag-out, bare-knuckle brawl that lasts a solid 10 minutes.
Wow.
And it is great. Have you seen the movie? You haven't seen They Live? That's way worse than her not having seen.
Yeah, I know. I'm such a pretender. I apologize.
You haven't seen
Roddy Piper's going to come here and hit me with a 2x4.
And you're going to deserve it.
Yeah.
Keith David should give you a couple punches, too. At the very least, YouTube the scene. Because it's...
Not only will I YouTube it, we will post it on our website so people can also YouTube it directly from our website.
I don't know if you can, because it's a solid 10 minutes.
So we can do that as long as Roddy Piper agrees not to show up and hit anyone with a 2x4. I think we'll be all right.
But it's just a great fight scene that never seems to end, and they just are beating the living crap out of each other. And every time you think it's over, it just keeps on going.
Someone gets up.
And it's great.
All right.
And they're pals. They're buddies.
That's fantastic.
Yep. Roddy is just trying to get Keith to put on a pair of sunglasses. That's literally what the entire fight is about.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad there was a point to that fight.
There actually is. Because the whole purpose of the movie is he puts on these sunglasses and he can see, like, what the world really is. Like, there's aliens and such going on.
Right.
And it's about, someone wanting to stay blind to that kind of thing.
Gotcha. All right. Let me then. You've got your favorite out of the way. Let me mention a couple tweets and then we'll get right to it.
Please do.
At Bunky DC, Alien v Predator, Alien versus Predator, great fight.
Horse hockey.
Yeah, not a.
It should be a great fight,
but not.
Both of those movies were completely worthless. And was there anything memorable in either of them?
Wait, let me think. No.
Right.
Okay.
And it's a shame because it's a great concept. The two of those creatures going at it should be a great fight. But those movies, I remember one of them being about a pizza guy. I don't remember anything other than that from the second movie.
I mean, you would think that the Predator would have a distinct advantage over the Alien to begin with, but, you know.
Why would you say that?
Its ability to use weapons.
Yeah, but the Alien has acid for blood. You cut it, it kills you.
That's true. It still bleeds to death.
See, there's a lot going on there.
All right. At Diggable Me, Bourne Identity series, yes, I would say the fights in the Bourne Identity are all top quality.
They were very good. I'm not a big fan of the shaky cam because I can't really follow what the hell is going on half the time.
Right.
And that might just be me being an old guy who was raised on a steady diet of Golan and Globus action movies from the 80s. So
it's possible, but I mean, you know, definitely a certain amount of realism too with the Bourne fights, which is nice. You know, he's not jumping and flipping and doing all these crazy things that
he does surf a guy down the stairs.
Well, that's true. But considering that no CGI was used in any of the fights and all that, and it was all choreographed, could, you know.
And I'm trying to keep any like CGI enhanced fights out of this, except maybe the next one that they have listed,
which is Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Right.
Yes, it was CGI assisted because they had to get rid of the wires and whatnot.
But
it's still some really awesome fights.
It really is. It really is, and it's a great movie. Besides, it's beautifully shot. There's a lot to really love about that movie, and it's
because it gave it kind of a fairy tale quality, the way they were kind of flying around like when they were fighting in the treetops and things like that.
Yep. All right, and then Kill Bill, Uma Thurman versus Vivica Fox fight scene.
That is a great scene. That's actually one that I wanted on my list.
That is a great scene.
There's a lot of talk about the other fights in Kill Bill, like about where she's with the Crazy 88s and all that.
Right.
But with the one with Vivica Fox, I mean, it's brutal. Everything looks like it hurts.
Well, I think that
makes for a great fight scene.
And in a situation like that where they're fighting one-on-one, it's a little bit more believable, you know, than, oh, look, it's 100 ninjas coming in here and I'm going to kill, you know what I mean?
Which is a blast. I mean, those scenes are a lot of fun.
Of course, but there's something else to be said, like you say, there's more brutality in it when it's one-on-one and you can really see the impact of what they're doing to each other.
Yeah. And you suggested that Steven Seagal should, of course, be on the list.
I think it should be also.
At which point I posed to you a question. Do you have a particular... I have one in my mind, a particular fight scene from a Steven Seagal movie that I think is one of the best of all time. I'm curious what you think is. While you think of that, at Robot Embassy gave us Fight Club, Ed Norton versus himself, which was a very cool scene.
That was a very cool scene.
It's not often you get to beat the crap out of yourself on film. And Edward Norton's been kind of making a career out of it between that and 25th Hour, where he's screaming at himself in the mirror. Maybe he's got some issues.
Clearly, I think Ed Norton does have some issues. He's smoochy for sure. All right.
Yeah, I like that movie.
You know, for me, there's an enormous number. First of all, any fight scene that involves Seagal, you know, is going to be fantastic.
Generally,
I would say
there's one in particular that I feel stands head and shoulders above all of them that I want to hear.
You got some good classics. You got the fight scene where it's him and Tommy Lee Jones with the knives in Under Siege.
Yep.
That's a classic. Okay. You got the fight scene where you got your Under Siege. You got the fight scene where he beats up the guys in the pool hall.
That's the one I'm
in Out for Justice.
Out for Justice, the pool hall.
Okay, now here we're going to get to that once I come back to it, because my other favorite one is when he has an almost identical scene in On Deadly Ground, except he has the speech about not messing with the environment.
What does it take to change the essence of a man?
Right. Apparently your fists. Possibly some homemade
and apparently a Pepsi bottle.
Right.
That was later in the movie, but still.
Yeah. I mean, that to me is kind of the quintessential Seagal, because at that point, I think that's when he went from being more of a mainstream action star to being relegated to being more a little bit on the fringe, you know, to doing the more of the direct to DVD sort of stuff.
Maybe that's why he wore that fringe jacket through the whole movie.
It's very possible.
Out for Justice, I got to give special credit to, partially because of that god awful accent that I just love.
Yes.
The way the guy taunting him says the same thing about 30 times to get the fight started. You wouldn't be nothing without that badge and that gun. Not without that badge and that gun, you got nothing. You gonna put down that badge and that gun? And that goes on for like 10 minutes before he just picks up a pool cue and beats the shit out of somebody. and when he goes forward in that movie, he just goes off. You know, he's got like the cue ball in a sock. He's smacking people's teeth out, breaks the pool cue in half, has that whole big, you know, clacky fight with the guy. It's great. And it goes. It's another, you know, nice long scene, and it's almost charming how badly choreographed it is. Because like he smacks the one guy with the pool cue, and the dude gets down on his knee and waits just to go and hit him in the back of the head. Yeah. And he just sits there like, all right, let's do this. I mean, it's just a blast. Another one I wanted to bring up before Robot Embassy gave us another one, the news team fight in Anchorman.
The news team fight in Anchorman's hilarious.
Which is very, very funny.
I think you might have killed someone, Britt. I threw a trident.
Where did you get a trident?
Where did he get a trident?
No idea. But that's what makes it great.
You know, the other part of that, too, with the news team fight is, you know that at some point, the producers are sitting around, Will Ferrell's sitting around going, you know what, let me call some friends, and let's just do this crazy scene where we bring in everyone we know, you know, who's even remotely connected to us, just to do this completely, I mean, because Anchorman in and of itself is a totally over-the-top comedy, obviously. I mean, even more over-the-top than most Will Ferrell comedies. It's sort of the most over-the-top, okay? Like, look, there's a rainbow. Do me on it, you know. And that scene is possibly the most over-the-top scene in the whole film.
That scene, any other movie would have gone completely off the rails right there.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it's totally within keeping.
It absolutely works perfectly in that film, yes.
Yep.
So that's a very good, at Robot Embassy, that's a great pick. Because not one you would normally think of.
Yep.
Because you're not thinking comedies when you're thinking fight scenes, typically.
Yeah.
You're thinking your Seagal, your Van Damme, you know.
And one thing I got to bring up is Tony Jaa. Have you ever seen any of his stuff?
No.
He's a dude, kind of like early Jackie Chan. No stuntmen, no wires, no CGI. This guy, they could have saved $1 million on the Spider-Man movies by just putting this dude in the suit. There's a movie called The Protector where there's a fight scene. I still have no idea how they did this.
You know what? It's funny. I just saw that The Protector was on demand, and I thought to myself, you know, there's no way I'm watching this, because to me, when I hear The Protector, my thought process, 1985, Danny Aiello, Jackie Chan movie.
That's true.
Terrible film.
But no, this is something else.
Terrible film.
I still don't know how they did this, but there's a scene, I think it's about 6 or 8 minutes long, something like that, where he's running up into this building, to this, I don't remember what the building was, if it was an office building or a hotel or something, but he is just, it's a tracking shot, there's no cuts. He must beat something like 80 hench people in this. He's throwing people through windows.
That's Seagal's move, sir. You got to be careful with that one.
But he's doing it. I mean, there's no cuts. It's an amazing. Your jaw will hit the floor. You're just watching it. I cannot recommend it enough. His first movie, Ong Bak. There's the chase scene where they're just chasing him through the streets of Thailand, and you know they show everything from like 3 or 4 angles so that you can see that there's no wires, there's no stunt people. It's clearly him. I don't know how the man does what he does. He really does move like Spider-Man. I mean, he's diving through these little openings that you can't imagine a human being fitting through, leaping over cars, doing stuff that like no human should be able to do, but he's doing them.
All right, so we'll have to.
But The Protector in particular, I don't know. I really want to know how they managed to choreograph the scene, because it goes on forever without a cut, and there's just people, you know, attacking me. There's 100 different fights going on. People are flying out windows left and right. No idea how they did it. I can't imagine how many takes it took.
I can't imagine, but you know what I think? I know what they were drinking. They were all drinking the same thing before they did that scene.
Unicorn juice?
No. Yeah. The Seagal energy drink.
The lightning bolt energy drink?
That's right. That's
what cherry charged flavor?
That's right. They had to have the cherry charged Seagal drink in order to do that. All right.
That is delicious.
Deep in Your Tonsils gives us Bruce Lee versus Chuck Norris. At the Parthenon, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, they were at the Parthenon. Yeah, although it's one of those fights where you can tell Bruce Lee's really taking it easy.
But even still, it's a classic scene.
It's a classic
I always
scene.
like
It's
going
a great fight in a classic scene.
I was going with Kareem.
The one with Kareem is hilarious because
He
in
looks
Game
like
of
a
Death.
spider.
Right. Well, and also because of the way it's edited, because they have it cut in with the fake Bruce Lee, the guy that who of course
Bruce Lee
looks nothing at all. Doesn't even have the same hairstyle or anything. Like not even close.
Not even Asian.
Totally. Just you know what? It's actually
all of a sudden there's a guy in a sombrero beating the crap out of him.
It was Ron Burgundy. It was actually Ron Burgundy. Yeah, it was Will Ferrell was Ron Burgundy. He showed up and subbed for Bruce Lee
someone needs to match that into a YouTube thing.
We could do that. That could happen. All right. And at Bunky DC says Rocky versus Ivan Drago. Come on, Beans, you have to agree on that one.
I agree 100,000%.
If for nothing else, then it gave us the classic line.
I must break you.
Yes, and he is made of iron. Right?
So actually, his fight with Clubber Lang was pretty good stuff too. What's your prediction for the fight?
Pain. Yes, actually, Rocky 3 and 4, Rocky 1 and 2 were more, the underdog who makes good to get a shot.
By 3 and 4, he was a cartoon.
Right.
But Clubber Lang and Ivan Drago looked like they could hurt a guy.
They looked like they would have, he would have no chance.
Like 1'2".
Right.
So
he would have no chance against either of them. They would pound him into dirt. In reality, they probably wouldn't even be fighting in the same, division.
Yeah, he comes up to Drago's navel, I think.
Right. I think Stallone's 5'7", maybe 5'8", and Dolph Lundgren's I think 6'5".
Something like that.
Right. He outweighs him by like 100 pounds.
Lundgren is a monster.
He is a monster, and Drago was a monster, and that was a great fight. A lot of great Rocky fights. Although the thing that always bothered me about the Rocky fights are, the punches that these guys took would kill them. Not only knock them out.
It did. It killed Apollo.
Well, it did kill Apollo. But I'm saying,
if you can kill Carl Weathers,
the punches that, Drago, runs across the entire ring, loads up, does a jump punch from across the ring and, beats.
So you're saying that Stallone's head should have come off like that guy in Friday the 13th Part 8?
Yes, it should have just flew right off his body. There's no way. That's the thing when you watch Rocky. If you watch Rocky, when I was a kid, I saw Rocky movies. I saw Rocky 3 and Rocky 4 before I ever watched an actual boxing match.
Yep.
So when I watched an actual boxing
everyone our age did.
Right. So when you see an actual boxing match, you're very surprised that it doesn't look like Rocky. And then in reality, you're like, that makes sense. Because in Rocky, those guys would have been dead.
Yep.
Because you see what kind of, shot it takes to really put someone down, and it's not the kind of punches that Rocky was taking.
Though that's reminding me that's a fight that I should have had on the list that I didn't, was that one from Friday the 13th Part 8, where the boxer kid pounds on Jason for a couple of minutes until he's exhausted. Jason just kind of tilts his head, one punch, dude's head goes flying off the roof.
How could we do it? We've done several shows in a row where we did not mention Mr. Voorhees. I think that
seems wrong.
It does seem wrong. There you go, Jason. You got your reference. Please don't kill us.
Please.
Let's not camp. Okay.
We are not fornicating teenagers.
So we agree then the Rocky fights. How about what else do we have on the list?
I think that was pretty much it. I'm looking for people to chime in.
We're looking for tweets, people. All right. So Twitter.com at Frank the Unicorn, 347
the guy asked me to put in Swayze, but all I could think of was the throat rip.
9700. The throat rip at the end was great. But there were some other fights before that were in Roadhouse too that were quite good. Mm-hmm. The I'm going to stab you with a dart fight where the guy cuts him with a dart. That was pretty hilarious.
That's true.
And he goes and stitches himself.
Pain don't hurt.
Well, pain don't hurt. So the guy comes in, Michael Ty comes in, or it's Andrew Ty, the actor that played the.
Don't know.
Anyway, Ty, he comes in, and Anthony Ty. So he comes in, and Michael Ty's a guitarist for Jeff Buckley, and so. And he offers him the job while he's actually repairing his arm. He's stitching his own arm.
Kevin Teague, you mean?
Kevin Teague. There you go.
There you go.
Ty. I always say it as Ty.
I don't know, but it's Kevin Teague.
Whatever. All right. Thank you for correcting me.
Of Stephen King's Rose Red fame.
There you go. I appreciate that. All right.
And My Bloody Valentine, which was a blast. Great movie.
I'm just giving you the look.
It's a fun movie. I defy anyone to watch the remake of My Bloody Valentine and not be entertained.
Defy you. I defy you.
If you dislike Tom Atkins, you and I have nothing left to say to each other, and I say that to all of you.
All right. At Robot Embassy, Qui-Gon Jinn versus Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Maul. Well, actually, sorry, it's Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul. Yes, if only because it's the only really watchably good scene in that entire damn film.
I'll give you that. I do like the double-bladed lightsaber. That's pretty snazzy.
The double-bladed lightsaber is awesome. Darth Maul's a great villain. That's one of the problems with that film.
I don't know that he is, because he really never did anything.
That's the problem. That's the problem with the film.
He looks great, but has nothing to do.
That's the problem with the film. He has nothing to do. The one scene that he's actually actively in, best scene in the film, one of the best lightsaber fights in the series. I mean, you could pick almost any lightsaber fight. You could go with Darth versus Luke in Empire. That's a great fight scene, right?
I pretty much love all the lightsaber fights. One thing I got to point out, I'm a big James Bond fan.
Yes.
And one that sticks out to me, it's not a great Bond movie by any means, which is Die Another Day, kind of a lousy movie, but the sword fight in that movie is great. The constantly escalating sword fight where they start, they're just, they have a couple of foils, they're just fencing for sport, and then all of a sudden they're ripping up furniture and paintings, and they've got real swords, and they're hacking the crap out of each other. And
yes,
that's a lot of fun.
Although I will say that was the scene to me where I saw that and I went, wow, Pierce Brosnan, you really, really look old.
Yes.
Because I hate to say that, but that's the one scene where, to his credit, he actually did a lot of those stunts himself and the sword fighting himself.
Yep.
To his credit. But, yeah, he was looking a little Roger Moore in that to me.
And that may be, and through the whole movie, that's pretty much true, but it's still a really fun scene.
Well, it's just like in Moonraker, you got the fight with Jaws. Again, great fight.
Great fight in a lousy movie.
A horribly bad, just awful, awful film. The kind of movie that they wouldn't put on sci-fi right now. They wouldn't make that for a sci-fi original.
I should have seen this coming. Deep in Your Tonsils just gave us Bruce Leroy versus the Shogun of Harlem.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Which, again, one of us should have thought of that.
One of us should have thought of that. And again,
Once again, he wins.
He does. If for nothing else, then for the final, that final bit where, who is the master and he's dunking him in the water. One of the all-time great badass replies. Who is the master? Pulls him out. I am. Then the music kicks over. He's got the glow. Yep. Bam, bam, bam. It's great. It's mid-'80s cheese at its best.
And I don't know how to pronounce this one, so who is this that gave us this?
S.W. Caro PR.
S.W. Caro PR gave us Inigo Montoya versus Count Rugen, which I think the build-up might be better than the actual fight.
Yeah, the build-up is fantastic.
So all the sword fights in Princess Bride were actually pretty darn good.
They were very entertaining, I would say.
There was a lot of fun there.
You know what else we could put
in?
And
Wesley on the mountaintop with Vizzini, which I don't know if that counts as a fight, really, but I love it.
Okay, how about this? How about Mrs. Piggy versus the guards in Great Muppet Caper?
Mrs. Piggy? Did she get married?
Excuse me.
Mrs. the Frog.
Ms. Piggy. Come on, when she comes flying in at the end
on the... It's the most one-sided fight in history.
Which is great. She comes flying in on the motorcycle. Piggy's the best. All right. So we're going to take a break on this. Looks like we're going to call in. I believe this is our musical guest. This will be Rhea. Caller, you're on.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, we're doing great. Is this Rhea?
Yes, it is. You're talking to her.
All right, excellent. Well, thank you very much for calling in. We're really excited to have you on.
Same here. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's absolutely our pleasure.
Thank you for being had.
Yes, and just to let our listeners know, Rhea, we're very, very excited to have you on our local music segment. You were so you're originally you're actually from Miami. You were raised in Miami, but you were born in Colombia, correct?
That's correct. That's right. Mhm.
Okay, and so you grew up in Miami, and you really had a turning point when you were at Berkeley School of Music. Now you had a turning point with Melissa Etheridge, and this is a absolutely fantastic story. I want to get I want to hear it from you though.
Okay, so basically, I was chosen to interpret one of her songs at a commencement ceremony in St. Matthew's Arena, a really big arena. It was like pretty much kind of like a graduation ceremony, pretty much the biggest concert of the year. They had selected only a couple singers to do Melissa's interpretations because she was going to be there getting honorary doctorate. And I was chosen to sing Bring Me Some Water, an old, really rock-out tune by her, which is awesome, and which I wasn't so familiar with before, I got selected. I knew other ones, like Come to My Window and, some other great hits. And, pretty much I did the show, and I was like, awesome, you know, I did good. You never really know how the artist felt about your interpretation of their song. I just happened to be in the bathroom finishing up. I don't know. My sister was helping me change into other. I was going to perform again, so for backgrounds for another song. And
okay, so you're
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you're kind of you've done this exciting performance. You're backstage. You're kind of changing. Maybe it's a little chaotic.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm running it out of the bathroom, which has a little hallway before you step to the backstage. So as I'm stepping into the hallway, I'm actually just like I bump into somebody, and I look. I don't realize who it is, and I actually bump into the security guard who's trying to exit Melissa Etheridge and her wife. So they're trying to get out before, you know, the end of the event. We're getting closer to the end of the event. So it's like the grand finale is about to happen where everybody goes on stage. So, and I understand, so she's trying to get out. And so I'm like, oh, hi. And she looks at me, and she literally just grabs me by the shoulders, each hand on one shoulder, and she goes, I don't know if I can say this on radio, but she just pretty much says, you fucking rocked my world. And,
That's awesome.
It was so awesome. I didn't know what to say. I was so thrown back, and my sister was totally being a fan and saying like, "Oh my God, that's my sister." It was a wonderful moment, and I said, "Thank you so much." I mean, this is all inspired by you, so thank you. I couldn't say anything else. So, but it was awesome.
that is pretty amazing. I mean, that's kind of one of those where, you know, that's almost something that you would see in a film. You know, where because because here's the thing. Obviously, you've got a lot of talent. You're at Berklee School of Music, so you obviously have a lot of talent. You know, I've seen the photo. You're very beautiful as well. And so to get an opportunity, you know, first of all, it's an honor, I'm sure, to be asked to perform in that situation.
Right. When there's only it was literally, I think it was 3 or 4 singers who did different interpretations.
Yeah, and so to have that as an honor on its own, and then to have, you know, really the person that you're really there, you know, to honor because she's receiving her PhD. So this is kind of why this is going on. And you know, it's not, and Melissa Etheridge is a performer. So for her to stop as she's on her way out, to recognize that is enormous, because you know, that's what stars do. They step up and perform when that opportunity arises, and it sounds like that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. It was incredible. I'm so thankful for that moment. It really was a booster of my confidence in what I'm doing. I mean, obviously, you believe in yourself enough if you're still pushing and, you know, you're there to graduate and you're studying it, but there's nothing more, I guess, like gratifying and like more motivating than obviously somebody who's already made it telling you like, dude, you were just awesome and thank you for doing what you do, and saying it just the way she said it. It could not have been said a better way.
So what's come from that? Because you've had a lot of you've really been doing well. You've had a lot of success from that. Tell us what you're up to at this point, because we've got some tracks that you sent us. We're going to play here on the show. Tell us about that.
Okay, so I graduated then, and I started working on the album that I have just released now. I mean, recently, a couple weeks back, November 12th, I released it's my debut, a self-titled album, Ria, R-I-A-N, and it has 12 tracks on it, and I'm very, very excited. It's like my baby, you know, the beginning of so many things. It covers a lot of different genres, which is pretty much like a fusion of me, and I'm very happy about it because it like pretty much represents the things I love to sing. And if I could fit everything into one CD, it would be like probably an 80-track CD, but we'll hold off that for a while. But, you know, I'm excited. It's the beginning, you know, so that's the most important thing that's happening on right now. I mean, there's a lot of gigging and touring and a lot of, you know, different features on magazines. Okay, also very important. You know, this happens sometimes. You have, you forget all the things you do, especially the really, really important ones. So, really
we
important.
Know how that goes all too well.
you know, you get on the spot and people are like, oh, so what have you done? And you're like, yeah, you know, I've done this and I've done this, and then you go home and you're like, whoa, I totally forgot to tell them I did this and this and this. I opened side stage for John Mayer here in West Palm Beach. I was selected out of thousands of contestants online through ourstage.com. He was doing a Battle Studies tour challenge pretty much. So everywhere that he was going that had a stop, local artists were put into like a pool for that stop. And the closest stop to me in Miami was West Palm Beach. So that's where I got put into. And I was selected. And the way you get selected is not because people, you know, call in or, you know, vote, and it's just like number of votes, you know, 1, 2, 3. The beauty of our stage is that they put one artist next to another, like their songs, and you have to choose which one is the best song of both. And then it keeps canceling out like that. Like, which one do you like better, this one or this one? Which one do you like better? Now, this one or this one? And they just keep doing it like that. And I guess it got to the point that I made it to the top, I believe it's top 20. And at top 20 is when John Mayer and his staff decide who's the one person who they think should open the side stage at their event.
Wow, and
I got very lucky.
So after all that, they select you. So now, I mean, and again, this is another endorsement by another Grammy-winning artist. Again, very famous, very well known. You know, you've got sort of the endorsement from Melissa Etheridge. Now you've got essentially an endorsement from John Mayer. He's picking you, and as well, I think you sang for Dee Dee Bridgewater. Is that right?
Yeah, I actually performed with her. That was a surprise. I opened with a band for her, and you know, we sang and did this whole thing. And it was a New Haven Jazz Festival in Connecticut, and me and her had some exchange of words backstage, and she's such a spark, like such a unique personality, and we got along immediately. And you know, we performed and she loved it, and then she started performing and doing her thing. And I don't know if people are familiar, but she used to do Broadway, so she's very like animated and charismatic on stage, and you know she's very, very active. People love her. She's really interactive with her audience and stuff, which is, you know, that's a wonderful thing I learned.
I would say I would actually use those same. I would possibly describe you the same way from what I've seen, from what I watched online. Yeah. Oh yeah. You're fantastic. I mean, you can't take your eyes off you when you're up there doing it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm very excited. Okay, we've got 3 tracks here from you.
Yes.
Now I want to play 2 of these, and then I want to tease the audience a little bit, because I want to put these on. I'm going to put the last one on the podcast so that people can download that, because and we did post your links on our site.
Mhm.
I want to make sure that we post as well your YouTube channel and some of your other links that you have as well. We'll get those up on the site as well.
Okay. Awesome.
So we've got 3 tracks. We've got Queens of the Night.
Mhm.
We've got The Real Thing, and we've got All Right. Now I'm going to let you decide which of these, which order you want for me to play these in, and let you go ahead and set this up.
I think we should go with The Real Thing.
Okay.
Because that's the way the album starts, and I think it's a good way to start.
All right, and now you've got the debut album out, so we'll get the link up for that as well. We've got your website link up, so people can contact you on that link.
Yeah, they can get it directly from me, because I have little special gifts for those who order it like physically. They can get it signed, and I give a little surprise gift in the mail. That, or you can download it. I mean, on my Facebook, it's there to download as well. It's on iTunes. It's always, I'll be honest though, as an indie artist, it's always best to download it from my direct site with like my Nimbit and stuff like that, because even though I love iTunes and it's awesome what it does, it is a very big corporation and it takes a very big chunk of the money. So, and that's just the reality of it. So, if people are supportive and stuff like that, you can do the same thing, get the same sound and everything. Download it directly from like my Facebook site or my site, or if you're having any problems, just get in touch. But
and it's Ria. I want to give the website. It's Ria Music Online.
Yep. .com.
Right.
That's correct.
Ria Music Online. All right. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna start out with The Real Thing. That That's the first track we're going to play, and then we're going to follow that up with Queens of the Night.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna save the last one. I'm gonna save the last track you gave us, All Right. That one we're gonna play on the podcast. So I want people to listen for that one, and definitely check out Rhea online. Check out her music. And do you have any upcoming stuff where we can check out live?
Well, yeah, I'll actually be at a Berkeley alum holiday party in the Hard Rock, and I'm pretty sure people from the public, as long as you RSVP for it. I think you look it up on Facebook. It's like Miami Alumni Berkeley event or something like that. Those are the key words. I'll be performing for them. They spoke to me again to perform, and that was awesome. And if anybody has plans for New Year's, big New Year's event happening in Miami. It's called New Year's Forever, and you can go to newyearsforever.com. It is an incredible event. It's going to have like water show and fire dancers and a 6-hour premium open bar, and I will be the live music entertainment for the night. And I think anybody who, you can get more information on the site. If anybody wants to get tickets, and they can get a nice little discount through me. So it's just like a one rate. So, you can find all that information on my site or newyearsforever.com, and you would put in your promo code RIA. And that way you can get the discount. But it's going to be an amazing party, so I suggest anybody who wants to have a nice party in Miami for New Year's, come down and join me.
Awesome. That sounds great. All right. Well, Rhea, thank you very, very much. I do appreciate it, and I certainly look forward to watching and seeing what happens going forward, because I'm sure, you're right on the precipice of really blowing up huge, and I can't wait to see when that happens. Thanks
so much. I appreciate that. I just take every moment as it comes, and, we just make the best of it. It's all about the journey. I've learned that. That's the biggest. As an indie artist, you really learn. It's really all about the journey. I mean, there is a goal in mind, but if you don't appreciate the journey, then when you get there, you're just like, what did I do this whole time?
Absolutely. All right. Excellent. Okay, great. Well, Rhea, thank you so much for being on. As I said, we're going to go ahead and play these tracks now. We do appreciate it. Everyone, please, after these tracks, check out Rhea Music online, and we'll speak with you.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so we're going to go ahead, and we're going to get this is going to be the first track we're going to play is The Real Thing, and then we'll follow that up with the Queens of the Night. This is Rhea.
Little did I
was Rhea, The Real Thing, and we're going to follow this up. This is going to be Queens of the Night, also by Rhea, our musical guest for this week on the local music segment, RheaMusicOnline.com. Here we go.
Now this one's for the ladies, para las mujeres. Me and my girls tonight, we're getting ready to go out. We left some men back at home, so let's get on with the show now. Do your hair, style your eyes, let your skin shine and glow. Grab your purse, stretch your heels, and let's get ready to go. So come on, ladies, get up and show 'em what we got. We're gonna take down the world all in a single shot. Tonight's our night to shine up, and no one's gonna resist it. 'Cause we're the queens of the night, no one can stop us now. Tonight's unlike any other night that we've ever partied. 'Cause we'll take over the floor and really get this thing started. Come on, girls. Pop your face, pop your lips, work it from head to toe. Fix your bra, stack your hips, and let's get ready to go. So come on, ladies, get up and show 'em what we got. We're gonna take down the world all in a single shot. Tonight's our night to shine up, and no one's gonna resist it. 'Cause we're the queens of the night, no one can stop us now. And you better tell your mother. Girls, we're the queens of the night. Gonna party till the morning light. Oh yeah, girls, yeah, we gonna party, and we gonna get real naughty. Girls, I wanna hear you sing. Party till the morning light. Girls, yeah, we gonna party. That's right. Hey, your hair, style your eyes, let your skin shine and glow. Grab your purse, stretch your heels, and let's get ready to go. Now we gon' to the puppy to the next about the mommy tonight. No one can stop us, take it over the floor. Yes, we gon' to the puppy to the next about the mommy, so we'll have a big one, see you know. From my head to my toes, I'm a feminine girl. Everybody knows we're the queens of this world. From my head to my toes, I'm a feminine girl. Everybody knows we're the queens of this world. So come on, ladies, get up and show 'em what we got. We're gonna take down the world all in a single shot. Tonight's our night to shine up, and no one's gonna resist it. No one's gonna resist it. So come on, ladies, get up and show 'em what we got. We're gonna take down the world. We're gonna take down the world, but no one's gonna resist it. Ooh, 'cause we're the queens of the night. No one can stop us now. No one can stop us now. No one can stop us
All right, and we're back. That was Rhea. We played a couple tracks from her. That was Queens of the Night. Prior to that, we played The Real Thing, and then we're going to play another track from her at the end of the show as part of the bonus material for the podcast, that's going to be the track All Right. So stick around for that. If you like what you heard, riamusiconline.com. And she appreciates all the support she can get. She's an independent artist down here, and we want to promote her as well, and we like what she's doing. So we appreciate her being on the show.
Indeed we do.
We do. We're a little bit over our time right now, but we're going to... we're going right to our next segment. It's time to play everyone's favorite game, How Unicorn Are You?
So don't get to talk about people beating the crap out of each other anymore?
Well, we can. It's going to come up. It's going to come up.
Sure
it will continue to come up. We've got three main segments left. We've got How Unicorn Are You? We've got This Week, followed by This Week in Bacon. And then, of course, we've got our new Cosmo that we're going to dig into. All right, so let's get right to it. How Unicorn Are You? And this will be one of the segments that we play live with folks at World of Beer when we do our live broadcast there on February 13th. Just want to mention that again. Okay, let's get right to it. More unsettling performance, Kirk Cameron as Richard III or Carrot Top as Willie Loman in Death of a Salesman.
I think people are used to seeing Carrot Top carrying luggage around, so I don't think that's really going to be a problem with him with the briefcases and all that. I think he could actually do Death of the Salesman without anyone blinking an eye. Plus, people would love to see Carrot Top die. So I'm going to have to go with Kirk Cameron as Richard III.
Kirk Cameron. I think I would agree. All right, more iconic. Although it would be good to see Carrot Top doing theater. That would be fun. All right, more iconic Swayze, Bodie in Point Break, or Jed from Red Dawn.
Not even a question. Bodie.
Bodie for
several reasons. Bodie for several reasons. One being the platinum blonde power mullet.
True. He did have great Swayze hair.
Holy Lord, did he? Two, for being named Bodie. Three, for you don't even notice that Keanu Reeves is in that movie because there's so much Swayze going on.
Because Swayze is chewing the scene so much as the bad guy?
That's good stuff.
All right.
And he's not really a bad guy. You never really hate him in that movie. You're kind of rooting for him through the whole movie.
Well, and
so is Johnny Unitas or whatever his name was.
Johnny Nebraska or whatever, Johnny Ohio, I don't know. All right. Okay.
And as far as Jed from Red Dawn, I mean, Red Dawn's a fun movie, but no one person really stands out. They were a team. They were Wolverines.
I guess you're right about that. All right, I could say that. I had to pick, Red Dawn because if I say Johnny from Dirty Dancing, well then we're here all night.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Provides a better chance for Jean-Claude Van Damme comeback. Comedy where he plays obnoxious Belgian French father who does everything while eating a waffle and swearing under his breath in French, or follow me on this one. It's complicated. Buddy action.
I hate it when you say that.
Buddy action film where he plays himself, hiring Steven Seagal's character, not Steven Seagal, but a character played by Steven Seagal, as
I'm following you.
As his full-time bodyguard. A reality TV film crew follows them, and because of his poor French behavior, JCVD gets in a few scrapes and fights along the way.
You know he's Belgian, right?
Yes, I know.
Okay.
They then edit this footage together with stock footage from 30s gangster movies to make an actual action film and release it as a sequel to this comedy, which is the making of the action film.
You lost me at the end there.
Okay. They're making the reality TV film where they're getting in. They're filming fights where they're filming scenes where they're actually getting in fist fights.
Okay.
Okay, where Jean-Claude Van Damme, is getting in fist fights with his bodyguard, alongside of his bodyguard who's helping him in the fights, who's a character played by Steven Seagal. It's not actually Steven Seagal, but it's Seagal playing a character.
Sure, I still follow that.
They take that footage.
Okay.
They cut that together with stock footage from gangster movies from the 1930s. Okay, that in and of itself becomes a film. They release that as a sequel to the film of them making that film.
You lost me again.
Okay. Obviously,
I'm actually following what you're saying.
It's obviously the comedy. Okay.
I meant you personally have lost me.
Yes. All right. More mystifying popularity: Vajazzling or Shia LaBeouf?
LaBeouf.
Doesn't make any damn sense.
The beef makes no sense at all.
I don't get it at all. All right.
I don't see what the appeal is. I don't see why he got to be in a sequel to Wall Street.
Why does he get to be in anything?
I don't understand it.
I don't understand.
How he
I
gets to
understand
be...
he was in Transformers and that movie was popular, but
then how he gets to be Indiana Jones Jr.?
I don't get that either.
That's not
Here's
right.
the thing. Just because someone's in a film that's popular, that doesn't mean their presence does not indicate that that's what made the film popular.
Pretty sure people were going to see Transformers for the giant robot.
Yes, not for the Shia LaBeouf,
not for
right?
the beef.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. You could put us in that movie in the original Transformers.
Well,
would have still been a big hit. All right. Better name for an English tavern: the Frog and Thistle or the Tickle and Pickle.
The Frog and Thistle sounds more like it would actually be an English tavern. The Tickle and Pickle sounds like it would be an English tavern on 2.5 Men. Which is not a good thing.
That's such an insult to me. All right.
Well aware of
one of my jokes is bad enough to be featured on 3.5 Men. Is that what 2.5 Men? Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly.
Okay. Which Scooby-Doo? Here's one I've laid at night and thought about. Which Scooby-Doo gang member is most likely to leave the group first?
I like that you refer to them as gang members.
They are gang members.
I mean, I guess they are.
They are gang members. Yes, they are a gang.
I just never really thought of them that way. What are their colors?
Obviously, it's the purple and lime green, the Mystery Machine colors, right?
Good to know.
You know, maybe it's red because Fred wears that cravat, you know, and I don't know. Which one would leave first? Who's going to leave the Scooby-Doo gang first? That's a good one for Twitter, too.
I think it's going to be Fred, because, frankly, any guy wearing an ascot isn't going to last very long in a gang to begin with.
Right.
So I don't think he's going to leave of his own volition. I think he'll be dragged, kicking, screaming, and whining, but I think he's gone first.
See, I kind of feel like it would be Shaggy, because Fred would just say, "Oh wait, the girls are in the van. Where's Shaggy? Never mind," and he would just drive away and leave him. I kind of get that feeling.
Maybe.
No. All right. Okay. More desirable retro car: Chevy Bel Air wagon or bullet-nosed Studebaker.
I know nothing about cars, so I have no concept of what either of those are.
The answer is Studebaker because that's what Fozzie drove.
I'll give you that.
Okay.
A bear's natural habitat. Studebaker. That's the only thing I know about Studebakers is that Fozzie drove one.
And that's a bear's, according to Fozzie Bear, it is in fact a bear's
natural habitat. Yeah.
Okay. We'll move on from that one. That was a dud. All right. Better idea for an updated spinoff.
Was a dud.
It was. Better idea for an updated spinoff of See What Happens Without Squanto. Okay. Without Stripes Jackson.
We might need Squanto.
Better idea for updated spinoff of 1980s sitcom. This will bring it back. Perfect Strangers 2, Return to Mepos. Cousin Larry and Balky move back to Mepos, where they find that they are the richest, most eligible bachelors in town. Hilarity ensues. Or The Killer follows the life of once nerdy Steve Urkel, who is now an underground MMA champion known as The Killer for his tendency to leave his opponents knocked out forever.
That Perfect Strangers 2 thing is a terrible, terrible idea. The whole thing that made Perfect Strangers funny was that it's, a fish out of water thing.
Well, they could be rich fish out of water on Mepos.
But the audience won't really.
What do you mean you've got no internet?
Really identify with the rich,
Cousin Larry, I got a cell phone signal. Let's do the dance of joy.
Nah.
Oh, we stepped in goat poop. No,
that's a little too The Legend of Curly's Gold for my taste.
Oh.
I think you gotta stick with The Killer is not a bad idea though.
The Killer.
I would watch Urkel in the Octagon.
I would too. All right. Better use of bacon for holidays. I'm throwing this in because we've got This Week in Bacon.
And when I say the Octagon, I'm not referring to Paul Rudd's penis in Anchorman.
Nice. That's class. You keep it classy, San Diego.
Yeah.
All right. Better use of bacon for holidays.
I didn't name it that.
Make ornaments with it or give it to Santa with cookies and bourbon.
Didn't we do the cookies and bourbon last week?
We've talked a lot about Santa and cookies and bourbon, and it'll come up again. So, better use of bacon for holidays. Make ornaments.
I'd give it to Santa because I'd rather the bacon be eaten than just hang on the tree.
Fact. Here's where it goes. Fact. Houses with extreme amounts of Christmas lights on the roof do receive more gifts from Santa, as it is easier for him to land the sleigh, and he shows his appreciation. Bonus fact. Extra gifts are given for leaving cookies and bourbon. Bonus points for leaving Santa pornography. No? Should I not say the last part of that joke?
I wouldn't.
No? Okay.
Can I ask our producer a question?
Yeah.
How long does he stew over these when he's writing?
Not long enough.
No, apparently not. All right.
Do you have to leave the house for weeks at a time while he works on these? Like something out of Apocalypse Now?
I have a panic room in the back, and
I think that's a good idea.
All right, let's hide there now.
Can I go there?
No. More expected after the program. More expected twist in an action movie. Someone the hero trusts is in league with or is the villain, or hero gets shot in the shoulder, of course. But don't worry, it's okay because, quote, the bullet went right through.
I hate it when the first part happens, when it's, someone the hero trusts is all of a sudden in league with the villain or is the villain. Or like in the last Indiana Jones movie, the script needs him to be the villain, so he is, but then he's okay, but then he's the villain again, but then he's okay, but then he's the villain again. Or like in Air Force One, Xander Berkeley, or was it Xander Berkeley, I think, who was, part of Harrison Ford. Maybe it's just a Harrison Ford thing. He's part of his team. Then all of a sudden he's a villain just because the script needs another villain. So, okay, it's that guy.
That's him, yes.
Always drives me nuts.
Plot convenience.
As for the hero getting shot in the shoulder and is okay because the bullet went right through, the closest I've ever come to seeing that get sold was Eddie Murphy in Beverly Hills Cop. Because when he gets shot in the arm, it actually kind of looks like it hurts. And he holds his arm gingerly for the rest of the scene. Whereas any other action movie will take a bullet in the arm
and then punch people with that arm.
Right, it's like a flea landed on them.
Yeah, it's okay, the bullet went right through. You still have a hole in your arm. There's a hole in your flesh, sir.
I mean,
blood would pour from it. You would not be doing those things.
Eddie Murphy still, rolls around and kills a stack of people.
Of course.
But
while cracking jokes and laughing.
It at least looked like it hurt.
Okay.
But I gotta say something that hurt me. Just this weekend, I went to a bowling alley. And this has nothing to do with your list, but it just popped back in my head. They were doing one of those, nighttime bowling things where they play a bunch of loud music, and it's all like,
The stuff I love, yes.
Right, all like, thumpy rap music and such. Only this one was doing all that, and then all of a sudden, somewhere in between a T.I. song and a Drake song, they played Eddie Murphy's Party All the Time.
Oh, no, they did not.
With the video showing on the screens in front of the alley and everything.
If I would have known, I would, you know what?
That totally made my trip to the bowling alley worthwhile.
If that bowling alley can guarantee they'll play that video again, I will come there and stay there just to watch that video.
And just
to see that thing played in public.
Pretty sure I haven't seen that video since 1986, and I kind of loved it.
It's a surprisingly catchy song, and I'm sorry, really, really sorry to say that. All right, let's move on real quick here. Opera with potentially funnier, unintentionally dirty sounding title. We did.
I want to go back to that one.
We will. Now. The Nutcracker or the Magic Flute?
I've always thought the Magic Flute sounded kind of dirty.
I always thought it.
The Nutcracker is too
kind of obvious, right?
But the Magic Flute always struck me as something filthy.
Okay. I agree.
I was a little nervous about the Smurfs and the Magic Flute.
The Magic Flute. Yeah, that doesn't sound good at all. All right. So now I think the Smurfs and the Magic Flute even sounds worse.
I think so.
Okay. Aliens either A, do not exist, B, they do exist and are not aware of us, or C, they do exist but then caught a clip of Jersey Shore on YouTube and thought, no thanks.
C.
All right. And then last, better terribly bizarre music video, and this is one for Twitter for sure. Danger, Danger, High Voltage by Electric Six, or Fly High Michelle by Tough Enough.
I don't know what either of those are.
Oh, well, I'm glad you said that. Let's go ahead and put that on Twitter. I'm going to post those on the website. We're going to make that a poll for next week to see which is worse, because two of the most insanely bizarre videos you've ever seen.
I don't know what either of them are.
They're wonderful is what they are, both of them. All right. So that's our How Unicorn Are You segment. Let's get into This Week in Bacon. Should we talk bacon?
We shall talk bacon. And it shall be good.
I mentioned how I'm
still waiting for you to cook bacon with me.
You are, and I was considering it possibly this week. Didn't quite work itself out.
Holy Lord.
Well, hold on. We'll get to that in a second. I just want to mention first, we did a feature. We had a product on This Week in Bacon some time ago for Squeeze Bacon from Think Geek.
We did.
Okay? Turns out it's a damn prank.
A dirty prank.
A damn dirty prank. There's no such thing as Squeeze Bacon. It's one of Think Geek's April Fool's jokes, and we fell for it. Can't believe the producer let the unicorn juice thing slip by. Now we're totally embarrassed because they've gotten us twice.
I'm not embarrassed because you've done those.
So caps off to Think Geek. All right. We've got a Christmas tree made of bacon. That's the first thing. We've got a Christmas tree bacon.
Okay, this is the second time you've passed by that picture.
Hold on.
I need to know what that was.
We'll get to it. This is a Christmas tree postcard, and this is on Etsy. We're going to post a link to this on Etsy. But it's a Christmas tree postcard featuring a tree made out of raw bacon, and it's really, really fantastic.
May your holidays be wrapped in goodness.
Yep. Isn't that cool? I just think that's great. And now they have a similar.
I want to fry that tree.
You do want to fry that tree. Now, these are cool. Sticking with the theme, bacon Christmas ornaments. And again, we'll post a link for this as well. They're literally, they actually look like real pieces of bacon. They're not real bacon, but they look like real pieces of bacon. That would make your tree look so delicious.
It would.
Wouldn't it?
My Jew tree would look delicious.
And all the little ornaments with the animals on them, they would have something to snack on.
My fake tree that I've just created for this show because I don't have a tree would be wonderful.
You see the plethora of trees that I have in the house.
You've got a bunch of trees.
We do. All right.
For a couple of Jews, you got some impressive trees.
Yes, and we even have a little special guest, too. We'll bring on for our Cosmo segment, and we're gonna bring on Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer to answer a couple questions out of Cosmo in a minute here. We've got This is Bacon Head Boy and his pet pig.
Now, this is the picture I was referring to that you've gone by 3 times. This might be the most horrifying stuff of nightmares that I've ever seen.
I think it's fantastic.
This is like figures of little boys, like those little homies, but with bacon heads.
Yep.
Their heads are strips of bacon.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that was in the wall. Those are terrifying.
They're a little frightening. We're going to post those on the site, though.
Those would give Bob Geldof nightmares. Those are going to give me nightmares.
Well, then let me leave them up there for a minute. Then I'm just going to go back to them just to give you nightmares. I'm going to email you this photo. I'm going to print it out and leave it all over your house.
I think I would cry.
You would cry? I think they're really cool looking. And if you're into bacon, you'll like that.
Bacon dude stands 4 inches tall. 4 inches of bacon-headed terror.
Well, that's the thing. His head is probably as big as the rest of his body.
That's scarier than Thanksgiving.
Nothing is scarier than Thanksgiving.
That is.
No. All right. You know what's better than Thanksgiving? Cosmo. All new Cosmo. Ashley Greene is on the cover. I don't know who that is. You know why we don't know who that is? She's in Twilight.
I would do it.
Yep. All right. We've got a whole bunch of stuff in Cosmo here. Now, this is 10 things I don't get about women. Okay?
Only 10?
10 things. This is Guy Insight from Cosmo.
Guy Insight. That sounds like a superhero.
This is provided by, and oh my God, this has to be a stage name, Cord Overstreet.
Cord Overstreet.
A.K.A. Sam on Glee.
I think I prefer Guy Insight. Hello, I'm Guy Insight.
That's fantastic. All right, so we'll
Welcome to Cosmo.
We'll stick with Guy Insight. You're weirdly Facebook sensitive.
I think I should change my name. I don't think I want to be Beans anymore. I think I want to be Guy Insight.
Guy Insight? Okay,
I don't think that's true.
We could hook that up. All right. You could be Beans Guy Insight.
No,
and then,
that throws off the rhythm.
So you're weirdly Facebook sensitive. Are women weirdly Facebook sensitive?
I don't know what that means. How is one Facebook sensitive?
Our relationship shouldn't have to be on Facebook for you to consider it real. In other words, women get upset if boys don't put their relationship status on Facebook or update that. Our producers give me the look. Go ahead.
No, women are very, very Facebook sensitive. If you don't have that you're in a relationship, when you're in a relationship, we do get upset.
So I have no chance because I'm not even on Facebook.
You got no problems there.
No problem.
I think I understand the issue,
wouldn't
though.
the lady want me to create a Facebook account to say that, hey, look, I belong to this blog?
But I understand the issue there, because what that is that's a way for this guy to publicly state that he's in a relationship with you and he's committed to you.
You know how else you can do that?
Okay,
by walking down the street with you and holding your hand.
Well, but not all of your friends and her friends and everyone's friends are going to see that. And Facebook is notorious for the hookups, too. All right. You keep asking what we think.
I don't understand this Facebook world.
That's all right. You don't have to.
It has left me behind.
Number 2, you keep asking us what we think. Yes, women are concerned with what's on guys' minds. I can tell you what's on guys' minds.
Is it vagina?
It is vagina. We talked about it on the show. It's vagina, it's bacon, it's movies.
But not at the same time.
It's explosions.
For God's sake.
It's car chases.
Vagina and bacon are not on our minds at the same time.
That's what we're...
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
And a lot of times, if you're in that mode where you're asking us those things, we may be not saying anything to protect your feelings, honestly, because we're not happy with some scenario where we are,
and it
really we feel uncomfortable or something, and we're just trying to get through it.
And it really looks bad when we're laying in bed with you and you say, "What are you thinking?" and we say, "Bacon." That's not a good answer. It's really not. It might be the truth, but it's not a good answer.
That's true. Unless she's wearing bacon panties, which we know are out there because we've talked about those on the show.
Unless those are a prank too.
I
don't believe anything you say about bacon anymore. I'll bet it's not even delicious.
Oh, you're so wrong. All right. You see this? They've cost me my credibility with bacon. Okay, you take the play it cool thing too far on first dates. Yes, if you don't it's a fine line for women because you don't want to seem too interested. You know, you don't want to seem like a stalker, but you don't want to seem like you're uninterested and slutty. Does that make any sense?
But I am slutty.
Okay. You're not a woman. Okay.
I'm just saying I don't want to hide that.
You blame us for looking at your cleavage.
That's not our fault.
That's not our fault. It's
There's
genetic.
a magnet
And
there.
also, why are you wearing something low cut to show off cleavage if you don't want a guy to at least notice it?
Now,
I
it's one
agree.
thing to notice it. It's another thing to spend the entire meal
Staring.
with eye contact right in the cleave.
I agree, and that's why one of the greatest skits on SNL was they had eyes on their breasts with Kirstie Alley when women had evolved eyes on their breasts because men just stare at their breasts anyway. So that's all right. Well, that's true. You don't want to stare. That's just rude.
By the way, Frank, my eyes are up here.
I'm aware.
Okay.
They're also down there.
No, they're up here.
They're down there.
I am not a piece of meat, buddy.
I
am technically. But
You've got
you know
two
what I mean.
small hair-covered brown eyes, right? Okay. Anyway.
Oh. God.
You wait forever. Yeah.
Goodbye, listeners. I'll miss you.
You wait forever to text back. You know what? Maybe they're driving in the car. Have some patience, okay? It's called a thing. Whatever.
Seriously, I almost got killed by a girl who was texting and driving the other day.
Yeah, don't do that.
Stop
All right.
that.
Be patient about the text. You have no idea. It's not like a phone call. You don't know what they're doing. You don't know where their phone is. It may not even be anywhere near them. Give a girl a break, okay? Give a girl a break. Who knows what she's doing, okay?
Well, that's the problem, isn't it?
No. All right. You dump a guy, then insist on staying friends. You know, I kind of understand both sides of this because if you're the guy wanting to stay in the relationship, or if you're the individual, let's say, wanting to be in the relationship, and the other person wants to not have that type of relationship, yet finds you appealing enough to still want to stay friends with you, typically that means you're just not physically attractive enough for them, and that's a hell of an ego shot, and you don't want to be reminded of that when you're around them. So I understand guys' reluctance on this one. And I understand women's reluctance, too, because women may not be immediately attracted to a guy, but we may grow on you. And that's why you keep us in the friend zone as a backup to see if, hey, you know what, maybe we're going to go from dork, all of a sudden we're going to get cool. You know, we're going to stop wearing sweater vests and we're going to start wearing leather jackets. We don't know. We're going to go from Joey to Uncle Jesse.
We're going to go from naughties to hotties is what you're saying?
That's right. We're going to go from non-Jovi to Bon Jovi.
Who apparently is non-Jovi himself, according to most of our listeners.
You claim nothing's wrong.
Stop that.
Yeah, stop doing that. That is. Just be honest and we can work it out.
I mean, seriously,
it doesn't,
just talk to us.
Because you know what sucks?
What's wrong? Nothing. Horse shit. Something's wrong.
And you know what? That's where you get you never listen to me. You never listen. I'm just asking you what's wrong. You're telling me nothing. Then you're accusing me of not listening.
Did you hear the side?
I heard the side.
I heard the side. Can we get
moving
some background on the side?
You date D-bags.
He doesn't want to hear
Is that a
my
no?
opinion.
No, we don't.
You date? I do. Can we get? I want some background on the side. Put the Cosmo down.
The only thing I would say is that men don't want to necessarily just listen. They want to try to solve. And women just want you to listen. We just want to be able to bitch and vent.
I've learned that.
And we don't want you to try to solve our problems. We can solve them ourselves. We just want you to hear
I've
what we
actually
have to
learned
say.
that. The hard way,
we're giving great better relationship advice than Cosmo.
That is
We're
good advice.
unlocking the secret.
You should have just let that happen.
I heard that advice, and I will listen to it again on the podcast. Okay. You date D-bags. It is frustrating when you know when you have a friend that's a girl that is a very nice girl, and she just consistently dates loser after loser. That does suck.
Not even loser, but those like Jersey Shore type dudes who are just total douches.
Yes.
Who are into nothing but their tan and their teeth.
And their hair. All right. You refuse to accept compliments. Yes, confidence is sexy. I do agree with that. Just say thank you. Just accept the compliment. Don't use receiving a compliment as an opportunity to put yourself down. That is not attractive to men. Men do not find that attractive. They don't like that. Men are not attracted to no self-esteem.
And that's not
the right type of
men. Women either. So your male listeners should know that men should stop putting themselves down also. Confidence works both ways.
Can I say that I love girls with low self-esteem?
You sure can, you disgusting pig. All right. Anyway, we're trying to be sensitive to the ladies here. All right. So now we're going to move on. We've got 101 things about men. Okay. And
how come there's 10 things about women?
Well, but here's the thing. Here's where we're going to get into good advice for the guys as well, though. Okay, because this works both ways. Now, they've got a map of the United States. Conveniently, every state here is pink, by the way.
Well, they didn't want to have to choose red state or blue state.
Right. And essentially, what they've got is this is the top 10 places where men outnumber women. So this is where women want to go. This is where guys do not want to be. If you're a single guy, you don't want to be where men outnumber women because the numbers are off. It's not, the odds are not in your favor. It's going to be immediately more difficult for you. Especially with your
more difficult for me.
Especially with your obsession with Star Wars, bacon, and unicorns. Okay, which are all good things. Number 10, Houston and Dallas. Well, you don't want to live in Houston anyway.
You have a problem.
No. Number 9, Orlando.
Well, most of them are dressed as 6-foot rats, aren't they?
Right. They're all dressed in Mickey.
All Disney characters.
Yeah. Number 8, Portland, Oregon. Huh. Pacific Northwest.
There are people in Portland, Oregon?
There are, but get this. Number 7 is Seattle, which is tied
and
with.
they're all wearing flannel.
Which is tied with San Francisco.
And they're all very glum.
Ladies, don't go to San Francisco to meet a man.
And frankly, there's a reason it's all men in San Francisco.
That's true. But who knew the Pacific Northwest was so devoid of women? Seattle and Portland on the list. Number 6, Denver.
Well, Seattle, it's a very glum climate. Women don't like that.
True. Number 6, Denver. Women not a fan of the Rocky Mountains.
Colorado.
6.
It's all cowboys.
Right. Number 5, Phoenix. No one should live in Arizona.
I like Arizona.
Arizona's a ridiculous place.
But it's a pretty place.
It's a very beautiful place. It is.
I like Arizona.
It is.
My favorite author lives there. Don't knock it.
Number 9, Los Angeles was also on the list. Number 9, it was tied with Orlando. Number 4, Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas.
Not only is it all men, they're all 742 pounds. Austin, Texas is a very large place.
Is it really?
Sure is.
It's a very college place, too. Very cowboy place. All right.
Always in the top 5 fattest cities in America thing. It's always one of them.
Nice. Number 3, this should be a no-brainer, Salt Lake City.
Well, there's women there, but they're all married to the same guy.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can meet plenty of guys there. Problem is, they'll have 6 other wives.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2, San Diego. San Diego.
Stay classy, San Diego.
You stay classy, San Diego. You stay away from there if you want to meet ladies. If you want to meet boys, go to San Diego. And number 1, Las Vegas. Men outnumber women more so in Las Vegas than any other state in the United States.
Is anybody looking to meet anyone that they're not paying for in Las Vegas?
I don't know. I've never been to Vegas.
Neither have I, but from what I understand.
I feel like a unicorn in Vegas would
Maybe
cause
we need to take the show on a road trip. Neither of us have been to Vegas.
It's possible. I mean, that would cause
Producer is nodding vigorously.
Yeah, it would cause a lot of problems. I don't think I want to go to Vegas. I don't think Vegas is necessarily the best fit. What do you think, Rudolph? Well, that went nowhere. All right. Stud meter. Let's do the stud meter on Cosmo. All right. The stud meter. We got to find out.
I have a feeling that's not going to find places where I can hang pictures.
And sadly, McGruber is not on this list. Which guys are getting sexier by the minute and who's totally turning us off? Matt Lanter. I guess he's on 90210. He apparently turns women on.
I've never seen the new 90210.
No, me either.
I'm falling behind on
That's
that
good. It's good we've never seen it. It's good. It's good we've never seen it because it's kind of like The Ring. You know, we watch it and 6 days later we die because it haunts us.
But I kind of liked the original 90210. Shame to admit. But
yes, you were also 14 when that was on.
I was in high school, yeah.
Okay.
So I'll give it that.
David Beckham. Okay. For apparently showing his tidy whities in front of a crowd. That's nice. Okay, number 6. Chris Rock. He cursed out a woman's ex who broke up with her via Facebook over the phone.
Very funny.
Over the phone for charity.
That was at the Night of Too Many Stars.
That is excellent. That is excellent.
It was very, very funny.
And how bad do you have to feel to have Chris Rock call you up and bitch you out for breaking up with your girlfriend?
She paid something like $20,000 for the privilege. She paid a ridiculous amount of money for the privilege too.
Wow. She was upset with that guy.
Yeah.
All right. Tom Cruise. Nah. Justin Bieber. We're getting into the not so.
Justin Bieber is 12 years old.
Yeah, I know. Adam Sandler. Apparently he's in drag here. He does not look good. Although we've seen Adam Sandler in drag plenty of times.
Have we?
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing him in drag.
You don't know?
Oh, on SNL.
Yeah, on
sure.
SNL, of course. Usher.
The Gap Girls. I forgot all about that.
Usher says he wants to create his own harem of women. Well, if anyone can do it, I guess Usher could, right?
Yeah.
You know what? Usher is at the bottom of this list for being honest. That's unfair. Okay. Jesse Metcalf reportedly confessed he collects stuffed animals. Not the cute and fuzzy kind, but the taxidermy kind. Well, Mrs. the Unicorn would love that.
As would Norman Bates.
She's nodding her head. She's
Maybe she should stay at the Bates Motel. I hear the showers are excellent.
Okay, all right. So we've got 60 hands-free ways to wow him.
Hands-free ways?
Yep.
Perfect for the woman you've got tied up in the trunk of your Trans Am.
Well, this is not to please the woman you've got tied up in your Trans Am. This is to please men. This is for the ladies.
I meant to make her do it to you because she's duct taped in your Trans Am.
Oh, right.
I assume that's the reason you've duct taped her in your Trans Am. Let's go check his Trans Am and find out.
Okay. You could sweep your boobs over the back of his neck. That's one suggestion.
I never knew that was a thing.
That you could sweep your boobs over the back of her neck. That would be a thing too.
Would you stop looking over there?
All right.
My eyes are up
I
here.
know. Let's see. My wife grazes her nipples against mine, and it's an amazing sensation.
Are you saying that, or does it say that in the magazine?
No, it says that in the magazine. That's Steve. Yeah, that's Steve from Steve, not me. Okay, let's see. We've got that's nice.
What?
Now
you can't just read this to yourself. You're on a radio show.
After a hot shower, my girlfriend put an ice cube between her teeth and dragged it from my neck to my shaft. Who knew that guy had a mind?
Who knew that he had Richard Roundtree in bed with him?
I liked yours better. Okay.
Me too.
A hookup coiled her hair around my penis and then pulled the strands back over and over.
That's going to cause some kind of picture
wow, that
kind of thing
really,
that I don't really want to know about.
That seems like it could start a fire. That seems dangerous, like it might cut you. I don't think that would be a good idea. Okay.
You shouldn't be keeping kindling down there, for the record. You don't want any accelerant anywhere near that.
No, you do not. No. Lean back and glide your butt up and down his penis. That's another suggestion. I don't think there's anything. You could go with that, I guess. It depends on how you interpret that as far as what you're doing with it.
You got to be really careful on the motion there, though. You're going to hurt somebody.
Slick on minty lip balm and run your lips along his thighs.
Like along his thighs.
Okay,
yeah.
all right. Let's see.
For a minute, then the
this is just damn bizarre. On a cold night, I went to my girlfriend's place. She put my penis under her armpit. It got me hot fast. Really?
I don't think I want to know you, sir.
Andrew, 22.
That goes under
really?
This is a fetish for somebody.
Right.
Department.
Yeah. How cold was it there? Where are you living, sir? That's wow. Okay.
Frankly, purely the logistics of that, I can't figure out where she is that she's doing that. No, it's not going to work.
That's a good question.
Logistically, that seems like a nightmare, frankly.
Here's a couple of more weird ones. Lick his eyeballs and then blow on your saliva.
No, this is not safe.
Eyeballs?
Eyelids, maybe.
Eyelids. Sorry, lick his eyelids.
Excuse me.
Lick his eyelids,
You
then
know,
blow. You're licking someone's eyes. Either way.
I've been through a lot in my life. I've never once had my eyeballs licked.
All right. Lick his eyelids and blow on your saliva.
Eyeballing.
All right. How about this? Have sex with your hair wet and whip it around to shower him with droplets of water. That seems very dangerous. Wet hair hurts when you get hit with wet hair.
Depends how much hair she's got.
If she's got enough hair that it's spraying water all over, that could potentially hurt. You could put an eye out that way. And then what would you lick? See? That's right. All right.
All right. That one, I can accept that.
Oh, boy. I love when a girl puts her mouth on my penis sideways. It's like corn on the cob and slides her lips from side to side. Does it get stuck in her teeth, sir?
Oh. God.
He said it was like corn on the cob. I mean, come on. You know what? You can't do that with dentures. Oh, I'm getting a look. All right. You guys told me to. All right. It doesn't matter.
I quit. Again. I quit every week.
Every week.
Let's see.
Who knew it would take corn on the cob to make me quit?
Put lube on your nipples, then trace circles on his bare back. That would be okay. All right.
Is it bacon flavored lube?
Yes. We'll just end this one with I'm going to end this one now. We'll move on. But
are you? Because I think there's going to be some more interesting.
The number one hands-free move by a long shot is 69, according to Cosmo. All right.
I don't see anyone complaining.
No one would complain about that, I don't think.
Except perhaps the other people in the theater.
What the hell are you watching? All right.
MacGruber.
MacGruber, of course. Ask him anything.
Well, then there are no other people in the theater, so it's okay. That would work out.
All right. Well, they all got up and left as soon as, yeah. All right. Ask him anything. Okay. My long-term, all right. My man has known and hung out with my girlfriends for a while now. He recently started becoming more buddy-buddy with my closest friend. They will text each other in G-chat all the time. I love that they're friendly, but I'm worried that they're getting along a little too well. Am I being silly, or are they crossing the line?
What?
She feels like her boyfriend is getting too chummy with her girlfriends. That they're becoming too close. They're becoming too buddy-buddy.
That can happen.
It can happen, and
that's the risk you won't run when you insist on him getting to know your friends or you insist on getting to know his friends.
Right.
That goes both ways.
Right, because here's the problem with that is that what you effectively have done is you've introduced your boyfriend to your friends, and in introducing them, you said that by your dating him, you validated him in some way. In other words, you've shown your friends that he has some value in that not only you're dating him, but that you're dating him and you're so proud of dating him, or that you're not ashamed of dating him, I should say, that you're willing to introduce him to your friends. So your friends immediately already see that he's got some sort of, hey, this isn't a bad guy. He's dating Susie or whatever, right?
As I recall, a girlfriend of mine asked you out when I got up to go to the bathroom.
Remind us of this story, please.
This was in the late 90s. I don't want to say her name because she actually listens to the show.
Ooh.
Oh, man. I honestly do not remember this.
Oh, yes.
I do not remember this. Was this the short one? The really short one?
No. Not the midget that broke into my house.
Not the midget that broke into your house. Was this the Muffin Queen?
I don't know which one that is.
I can't remember. Okay. All right. We're going to, wow, juicy details emerge on the Frank Unicorn Radio program. We'll have to discuss that off the air.
You told me about it as we left the house. You said, by the way, she asked me out when you got up to go to the bathroom.
That's really funny. I honestly don't remember that. I really don't. Okay. Next question. I heard that it's easier to find guys who are looking for relationships in non-bar settings. So I started talking to this dude at the bookstore, and we made plans to grab coffee. Then a few minutes into our date, he mentioned his wife. How exactly do you indicate to a guy that you're interested in him romantically when you're outside the bar scene? Well, let's just clarify a couple things. First of all, did you happen to notice that he was wearing a wedding ring? That's usually a clue. Or it could just be that, look,
he may not have been. Not every married guy wears one.
Well, that's true. Okay. But here's the other part of it is he could have just been a jerk.
That's also true.
You know what I mean? Or
he could have been scummy McScumbag.
That scenario is so broad. It could have been. That could be anything. He could have just interpreted that. What was the context of your conversation? You're discussing a specific book with him or an author. Maybe he wants to discuss that with you further. You're in a bookstore. He's thinking, well, she sees my wedding ring. She can't possibly think that I'm interested in some sort of relationship. I mean, it really depends on the context of what you're discussing and how you're starting that conversation as far as where the expectation might start out with.
So let's say they're discussing Madonna's sex book, and he points to page 14 and says, I'd like to try that.
Well, that's the Vanilla Ice picture, so I can't believe that. I'm kidding. I don't actually have the Madonna sex book memorized, but you understand what I'm saying. I mean, there's not enough information here to really make a determination as far as what was going on in this guy's head. This guy could have just been a jerk, although it doesn't seem that he would be, because if he was being kind of a scum guy, why would he mention his wife to you minutes into sitting down to have coffee with you, unless he wanted you to be aware, obviously wanted you to be aware of her.
Or if he's always wanted a three-way.
Well, I'm sure that would have continued in the initial question. Probably would have been in there.
Is it wrong that the first place?
It's very wrong. Or she just left that part out. Or she just left that part out of the story. But again, that could just be a scenario where it's one person who has, you're going to have different expectations with people when you encounter them. There's no specific way, there are specific ways to indicate that sort of interest, but you want to be careful with them, whether you're in the bar scene or not. Because just that you're in the bar scene, and it's important to remind ladies and gentlemen of this, just because you're in that setting does not mean that the people that are there are all looking to hook up or to have casual relationships or anything like that.
But they probably are.
They most likely are, but you cannot assume that.
Yeah, you can.
No, because that's how you get yourself into these difficult situations.
Yeah, that's what we have Cosmo for. That's what they're doing.
That is what we have Cosmo for. And we're gonna talk a little bit more about Cosmo next week because we've got the skankiest moments of the year to get to next week, and we've got the Cosmopolitan Astrologer.
The Cosmopolitan Astrologer.
Yeah, we're gonna let people. We're gonna have people contact
like a pulp
us.
character from the 20s.
We're gonna have people contact us, and we're going to read them what they can expect from their love lives for the upcoming year, according to the Cosmopolitan Astrologer. We're gonna do that next week. We'll have, of course, more local music this week, and we want you to stick around with us.
I'm Guy Headspace, the Cosmopolitan Astrologer.
I thought you were Guy Insight.
Whichever. I just like that. It just totally sounds like some dude's name from a 30s pulp novel.
It could be. Maybe that's where they took it from.
Could be.
We never know. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to wrap it up. I want to thank Rhea, our musical guest, for calling in and for providing us with this music.
Thank you very much.
We've got her links posted on our website. We're going to get a few more up there. We want you to check her out. She's amazing. She's up and coming. We want to thank Lisa at World of Beer again. We're going to have more details coming up about our live broadcast on February 13th. It's going to be a great event, and we look forward to seeing everyone there. I want to thank Beans. We had a great Beans list this week with the top 10 fights, and this is where we're going to take this into our bonus podcast. And as soon as we're actually officially off the air, we're going to play that track from Rhea. That's going to be the track All Right, and so that'll be our podcast, our bonus podcast material, and we want people to stick around for that. That'll be in about a minute.
Do.
And, so, I mean, we had a great show. Of course, again, World of Beer on February 13th. We're so excited about that. We're going to have more news about that coming up.
Sunday the 13th. That's when Jason goes to church.
Sunday the 13th. That is when Jason goes to church. We're going to invite you to come and get horny with us the day before Valentine's Day.
Awesome.
That's how it's going to be. All right.
Church
and, of course, you can check us out next week on Blog Talk Radio. We'll be on 7 to 9 p.m. next Sunday. And, of course, for the full 2 hours. And, again, at franktheunicorn.com. We appreciate that.
Commercial interruption.
We will see you next week. And stick around for the bonus material on the podcast. That's coming up next.
Bye.
with every morning beat.